Let me ask you something. When was the last time you made a promise to yourself and kept it? Not a New Year's resolution, not a Monday morning goal, but a deep personal commitment. One born not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Today, I want to talk about a 90-day commitment, not to a task, not to a habit, but to a mindset, a way of being. Because the truth is, if you commit to this for 90 days, you won't just change your results. You'll change your identity. You'll change your life. Every day, we are given a choice to move through life reactively, letting the demands of the world shape our steps, or to act with purpose deliberately, intentionally, and with meaning. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phones. The inbox, the news, the never-ending to-do list, these things begin to pull at us before our feet even touch the ground. And in doing so, we begin the day not with clarity, but with chaos. Not with focus, but with pressure. Pressure is everywhere. It's in expectations, deadlines, and comparisons. It whispers that we're already behind, that we're not enough, that we have to do more, be more, prove more. But here's the truth, pressure is a poor guide. It leads to burnout, anxiety, and the illusion of productivity. It can make us feel like we're spinning our ways moving, but never getting anywhere meaningful. Purpose, on the other hand, is quiet but powerful. Purpose doesn't scream, it doesn't demand. It invites. It asks, why are you doing this? What does it lead to? Who are you becoming? When we begin our day with purpose, we create a sense of direction. Our actions start to align with our values. Our choices feel less like obligations and more like opportunities to create something that matters. Living with purpose is not about having all the answers, it's about asking better questions. It's about checking in with yourself and choosing to act from intention rather than reaction. When you show up with purpose, you don't need to chase every shiny object. You don't need to impress everyone in the room. You simply need to know your why and let it lead the how. This is especially important in the context of growth and change. Anyone can get motivated for a few days, but real transformation, the kind that sticks, requires more than hype. It requires intention. If you want to change your life in 90 days, don't just commit to doing things differently. Commit to thinking differently. Start each day by reminding yourself of what you're building, who you're showing up for, and what kind of impact you want to leave. Maybe your purpose is to become more confident, to be a better parent, to build a business that reflects your values. Maybe it's to finally take care of your health, not out of shame, but out of self-respect. Whatever it is, let that purpose guide your energy. Let it shape your schedule. Let it be the reason you keep going when motivation fades. Purpose doesn't eliminate pressure, but it helps you rise above it. It gives you clarity in the chaos. It reminds you that your worth isn't tied to your output, but to your alignment. When you operate from purpose, every step becomes part of a larger story. One that you are writing, not one that is being written for you. So as you move through your 90-day commitment, remember this: pressure is temporary, but purpose is transformational. Don't let the world rush you. Don't let noise distract you. Show up every single day with the quiet confidence of someone who knows why they're here and who they're becoming. That changes everything. Discipline is often misunderstood as something external, something harsh or unforgiving, a set of rules to follow, a rigid structure meant to confine or control. But when you look more deeply, discipline is not about control. It's about care. It's the quiet, steady act of choosing what matters most, even when it's not convenient. Discipline is not a punishment. It is one of the highest forms of self-respect. Because when you practice discipline, you are saying to yourself, I am worth the effort. My goals matter. My future matters. Self-respect doesn't come from self-esteem slogans or motivational quotes. It's earned in the choices you make when it would be easier not to choose at all. It's found in the moments when no one is watching and you decide to show up anyway. To do the thing you said you'd do, to stay committed, not because someone is making you, but because you made a promise to yourself and you intend to keep it. Discipline is a declaration that your long-term vision is more important than your short-term comfort. It's resisting the pull of instant gratification, not because pleasure is bad, but because purpose is better. It's knowing that skipping one workout might not change much, but the habit of skipping what matters over time will. Every decision becomes a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Every discipline act says, I take myself seriously. And yet, discipline isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's not about doing everything, but doing something, even when it's small, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. Because those are the moments that count most, not the days when everything is easy, but the days when it would be easier to quit and you don't. That's where character is built. That's where self-respect grows. We often look at people we admire and say they're motivated or driven, but what they really are is discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. It's there one morning. and gone the next. But discipline stays. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks who you are committed to becoming. It doesn't care if the mood is right. It cares whether the mission is clear. There's freedom in discipline, though it may not seem like it at first. Freedom to become who you want to be. Freedom from the regret that comes from neglecting your own potential. Freedom to look in the mirror and know that you are living in alignment with what you say you value. That you are not just talking about change, you are creating it step by step, day by day. And the beautiful part, discipline is not a trait you're born with. It's a skill. It's a muscle you train. You build it the same way you build strength by showing up, doing the reps, and pushing a little more each time. It might start small, waking up on time, writing the page, saying no to what no longer serves you. But over time, those small acts compound. They become who you are. So when you commit to a 90-day journey, whether it's personal, professional, physical, or mental, you're not just building habits. You're building self-respect. You're training yourself to follow through. You're proving to yourself that you are trustworthy, reliable, and worth investing in. That's not just discipline. That's love. And that changes everything. Belief is the invisible force behind every meaningful change. It's not loud. It doesn't always make headlines. But without it, nothing truly begins. Belief is what turns hesitation into action, doubt into courage, and fear into momentum. It's the first spark, the internal shift that says, maybe I can. That small, fragile thought is often all it takes to change the course of a life. Most people wait for evidence before they believe. They wait until they've succeeded to feel confident, wait for validation before they move forward, wait for the results to prove they're capable. But that's not how belief works. Belief doesn't follow results, it precedes them. You must believe before you have the proof. You must start walking before you see the path clearly. Because belief creates the clarity. Belief is what moves you, even when logic tells you it might not work. And belief isn't about arrogance or blind optimism. It's not pretending everything will go perfectly. It's understanding that even if you fail, you will learn. Even if it's hard, it will be worth it. It's the quiet conviction that your effort matters, that your life is worth showing up for. When you believe in what you're doing, and more importantly, in who you're becoming, you unlock energy you didn't know you had. You persist longer, you recover faster. You lead yourself more boldly. Belief is personal. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away. People can support you. They can cheer for you. But if you don't believe in yourself, their encouragement won't carry you very far. You have to choose belief even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels unfamiliar, especially then. Because belief is not the absence of doubt. It's the decision to keep going despite it. In a 90-day transformation, belief is your fuel. There will be days when the results are invisible, days when the motivation fades, days when the effort feels thankless. And on those days, belief is what holds you together. Not belief that it will be easy, but belief that it will be worth it. Not belief that you won't stumble, but belief that you'll rise again when you do. Belief also changes the way you treat yourself. When you believe in your value, you stop tolerating less than you deserve. You stop speaking to yourself with cruelty. You stop settling for comfort when you're built for growth. Belief shifts your standards not because you're chasing perfection, but because you finally see your potential. You begin to protect your energy, prioritize your growth, and surround yourself with people who remind you who you are, not just who you've been. Some people wait their whole lives for someone to believe in them. But what they don't realize is that the most powerful belief doesn't come from others, it comes from within. It's the moment you decide, I may not be there yet, but I am not staying here. It's the moment you stop making excuses and start making progress. That shift doesn't require talent, it doesn't require luck, it just requires belief. So if you want to change your life, start here. Not with a perfect plan, not with a flawless routine. Start with belief, a belief that your efforts matter. That change is possible. That you are not defined by your past, but guided by your future. Because when belief is present, anything can happen. Ideas become actions, actions become habits, habits become identity, and identity becomes destiny. Belief is not the finish line. It's the starting point, and it ignites everything. We live in a world that glorifies intensity, the dramatic gesture, the all-nighter, the extreme transformation, the big leap, but real, lasting change rarely happens in a burst of energy. It happens in the quiet, often unnoticed rhythm of consistency, day in, day out. Small steps repeated, simple actions done faithfully. Consistency doesn't get applause, but it gets results. And in the long run, it beats intensity every single time. Intensity is exciting. It feels powerful. It gives us that surge of adrenaline that convinces us we're making progress. But intensity burns hot and fast. It's not sustainable. It's easy to go all in for a few days, to make sweeping declarations, to chase results with every ounce of strength. But when the novelty fades and the excitement wears off, intensity often fades with it. What's left is what truly matters: your habits, your systems, your choices when no one is watching. Consistency, on the other hand, is quiet. It's not glamorous. It doesn't come with fanfare. But it's dependable. It's steady. And it's powerful in a way intensity can never be. Because consistency builds trust first with others, and most importantly, with yourself. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your belief that you are someone who keeps promises. That belief becomes identity. And identity is what shapes your future. It's easy to be consistent when you're motivated. But the real test and real transformation comes on the days when motivation is gone. When you're tired, distracted, overwhelmed, consistency says, I show up anyway. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but faithfully. Consistency isn't about doing everything every day. It's about doing something. Progress over perfection. Movement over stagnation. Consider this: doing one small action every day for 90 days will take you further than doing everything perfectly for a week and quitting. One workout won't change your body. One day of clean eating won't fix your health. 1 hour of focused work won't build a business, but those same actions repeated over time. That's where transformation lies, the compound effect of small. Consistent effort is one of the most powerful forces in life. And this isn't just about habits, it's about mindset. Consistency teaches you patience. It reminds you that growth is not a single moment, but a process. That mastery isn't found in one brilliant effort, but in repetition. When you begin to see yourself not just as someone trying to change, but as someone who does the things that matter, that shift changes everything. It's no longer about chasing results, it's about living in alignment with who you want to be. One of the most important lessons you can learn is this: don't underestimate the power of showing up, even when it's small. Especially when it's small. The gym session you didn't want to do, the journal entry you wrote in 10 minutes, the decision to speak kindly to yourself instead of critically. These are the moments that build resilience. These are the bricks that build the foundation of a meaningful life. Consistency doesn't demand perfection, it asks for presence. Not 100% effort every time, but effort every time. That's the difference between temporary change and lasting transformation. Because what you do occasionally may inspire you, but what you do consistently is what shapes you. So if you want to commit to something that will change you forever, don't chase intensity. Commit to consistency. One action, one choice, one day at a time. Over time, those small acts add up. And one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just change your habits. You changed who you are. That's the real power. Quiet, steady. Unstoppable. When most people think about change, they focus on outcomes. They want to lose weight, make more money, get a promotion, start a business, find a relationship, or achieve a goal. They chase results because results are measurable, visible, and validating. But what they often don't realize is that outcomes are temporary unless they're backed by something deeper: identity. Real transformation doesn't happen when you hit a target. It happens when you become the kind of person who hits those targets naturally, repeatedly, and with integrity. Change that lasts isn't about what you do. It's about who you are becoming. We all act in alignment with who we believe we are. If you see yourself as a procrastinator, you'll find ways to delay action even if you really want to be productive. If you believe you're bad with money, you'll continue to make decisions that reinforce that belief, even when you're trying to improve. That's why people often fall back into old habits right after achieving a goal. The behavior changed temporarily, but the identity never shifted. They lost the weight, but still saw themselves as someone who struggles with health. They made the money, but still believed they were financially irresponsible. Without a new identity, the old patterns return. The real power lies in making change from the inside out. Identity is the foundation. Outcomes are just the evidence. If you want lasting change, you need to shift the question from what do I want to achieve to who do I want to become. Because once you're clear on that, every choice becomes a vote for your future self. Every action is a small reinforcement of a bigger transformation. This is why small, consistent habits are so powerful. They may not seem impressive on the surface, but each one is an opportunity to affirm your new identity. When you go to the gym, even when you don't feel like it, you're not just exercising, you're proving to yourself that you're someone who honors their health. When you write for 10 minutes a day, you're not just creating content, you're becoming a writer. When you manage your budget, even in small ways, you're no longer just trying to fix your finances, you're becoming someone who is financially responsible. It's not about perfection. You will slip. You will miss days. You will fall short. But if your focus is on identity, not outcome, you won't quit. Because you'll understand that failure doesn't make you a failure, it's just part of the process of becoming. You'll stop asking, did I hit the goal? And start asking, did I show up as the person I want to be today? That question changes everything. Over time, your identity becomes stronger than your resistance. You stop needing motivation because your actions are no longer tasks, they're expressions of who you are. You begin to act in integrity with your values, and your results stop being sporadic and start becoming consistent. Not because you're working harder, but because you're working from a deeper place. This is why a 90-day commitment isn't just about forming habits. It's about building identity. Each day is a chance to cast a vote for the future version of you, the one who no longer has to chase transformation because they embody it. The outcome may be the initial reason you started, but the identity is the reason you'll keep going. Change the story you tell yourself about who you are, and the outcomes will follow. Not as a goal you achieve once, but as a byproduct of who you become. That's transformation, and it's built from the inside out. We often treat 90-day challenges like countdown short sprints toward a finish line. A burst of effort to fix something, build something, or become someone, and there's value and focus to commitment. The danger lies in thinking that day 90 is the end. That once we arrive there, the work is over. But real transformation doesn't work like that. Because the truth is simple and powerful. 90 days is not a deadline, it's a beginning. Those first 90 days are about momentum. They're a framework, a container for focused action. They're a tool to help you build consistency, direction, and self-trust. But they are not magic. They don't erase years of old habits. They don't instantly install a new mindset. What they do is show you what's possible. They give you evidence that change can happen, that you can commit, that you are more capable than you once believed. The real transformation starts when you realize that you're no longer just doing something new, you're becoming someone new. That shift is subtle but profound. In the beginning, your efforts might feel forced, uncomfortable, or unfamiliar. You may have to remind yourself every day why you started, but somewhere along the way, the shift happens. What once felt like discipline begins to feel like identity. You no longer have to talk yourself into showing up, you just do. Because it's who you are now. And that's the power of the 90-day structure, not that it delivers a finished product, but that it initiates a new process. You're not aiming to arrive at a version of yourself who never struggles, never doubts, never slips. You're stepping into a way of being that evolves. A life where growth is the baseline, not the exception. Where you don't wait for the perfect time to start over, you keep building on what you've already created. Too often we focus on the finish line thinking it's a place to rest. But it's not. The finish line is just the next starting line. The habits you build in 90 days are not meant to be shelved, they're meant to be expanded. The discipline you develop is not a temporary tool, it's a permanent part of your character, if you choose to keep it. And the mindset you strengthen is not something to forget, it's something to lean on, especially when the initial excitement wears off. So don't just count the days. Don't just track the results. Reflect on who you're becoming. Ask yourself what beliefs have shifted, what patterns have been broken, what kind of person you've proven yourself to be, not because everything went perfectly, but because you stayed the course when it didn't. The beauty of committing to something for 90 days is that it gives you a container, a window to block out distractions and focus. But the bigger opportunity is what happens afterward, when you don't stop, when you don't slip back into the old version of you, when you realize that your progress wasn't just about reaching a goal, but unlocking a mindset that you can carry forward. 90 days is just a number. It's not the finish line of your growth. It's the first chapter of a new story, one where you no longer define yourself by your limitations, but by your commitment to your evolution. Where you stop chasing quick fixes and start living from a place of alignment, integrity, and momentum. So when day 90 comes, don't ask, am I done? Ask, what else is possible from here? Let it be the start of something deeper. Let it be proof that you are capable of change and deserving of what comes next. Because this isn't the end, it's only the beginning.